Hey everyone, Retire on Dividends here. Here to make a weekly recap of the Defiance funds. For reference, today is Sunday, April 7th, and we'll cover, the 5 different funds that they offer, the higher yielding ones at least. They offer other ETFs as well. If you go on their website, you will obviously see them. They're a little more established, a little older. But these are the ones that are, new and exciting because especially the top 3, they have a very high yield. So let's get to it. So, this first tab here, this is where I capture all the information as far as the distribution payments and everything. So, obviously they paid us last week. That was for the April payment. QQQY paid 79 cents, JEPY 55 cents, IWMY $1.07, TRES 17 cents, and SPYT 34 cents. So we should have all gotten paid last week, hopefully, and then now we could do what we want with it, right? We could live off the money, we could reinvest it, we could buy anything. But anyway, let's get to this, the details and see how they did. So as you guys know, based on, what I always say, the best time to buy these funds is on ex-dividend date. So ex-dividend date, it looks like, the timing of sometimes these formulas, if you see ex-date, I have that on row 202, which is on 4/1. But it landed on 3/29, I believe it was over the weekend, so that's why. So regardless, on ex-dividend date, it was around like 15.93 for QQQY. So to me, that was a good time to buy into the fund. However, since then, it's actually gone down. So, they made 6 cents on ex-date, but then they lost 5 cents, and then they lost a penny, and then they lost 20 cents. I'm sorry, wait, income, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong column. I'm sorry, they lost 11 cents, they gained 4 cents, they lost 19 cents, and then they gained 11 cents. So right now, QQQY, they are down by 9 cents since the prior ex-dividend date. So they are not making money. Hopefully things turn around though. But since they're down overall since ex-dividend date, to me, this is a good buying opportunity because obviously they did not start to go up from earning premium after the ex-dividend date. So I am done. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm done buying. It's possible if it keeps dipping, I could buy more. But I did buy my portion of these funds on ex-dividend date already. So I'll have to think about buying into it. But either way, the moral of the story is QQQY is not doing well at the very moment. They are down 9 cents for the month. Again, I always add total return to take this entire thing into consideration. So assuming all distributions paid out in cash and you invested from inception, you would be up $1.73 per share or 8.59% in total return. So it's not like you'd be down. Yes, the stock price looks really bad and they're not doing very good at the moment, but overall you're still up. All right, so that's QQQY. Let's go to JEPY. Again, JEPY, to me, I consider it the safest option. So on ex-dividend date, they were 17.09. And since then, on ex-dividend date, they earned 2 cents. Since then, they lost 9 cents. And then they went up a penny. And then they lost 18 cents. It's these big drop days it's hard to come back from. But the day after, they gained 12 cents. So right now, they're down 12 cents for the month. So obviously, they're not making money either. Their price, though, is at $16.95. So that, it's not as bad. I think, did these both launch at the same price? Let me go to 52-week high is probably the launch price. 2018. Yeah, they all launched around the same price. IWMY looks like, I don't know if it launched, actually, if I just go to the top, I'm not going to scroll all the way up, but either way, JEPY is doing better overall. Also, they're up $1.64 per share or 8.2%. So But the important piece is how much are they earning per share, and they're not. They are down 12 cents. So not a good start to the month. We have time though, guys, so don't go crazy here. IWMY on that ex-dividend date, they went down to 1666. On ex-dividend date, they did not make money. They actually lost 14 cents. And since then, they lost 25 cents. Then they gained 11 cents. And then they lost 9 cents. And then they gained 10 cents. So it's been back and forth, back and forth. But the market has been like unpredictable. So I'm not surprised that all three of these funds have not done well, because when you have big swings one way or the other, it's not good for these funds. These funds just really need slow movement days or flat days, right? If it goes up a little, great. If it goes down a little, great. If it stays flat, great. These funds are perfect for those days. If it jumps up a lot, that's fine. We'll win. This will be a profit. But sometimes the next day, like there's a little correction, and then, we take that full dip. Like, if it jumps up like 3% or something in a day, we're only going to capture a certain amount of that. But if it drops another 2%, we're going to capture all the downside. So that's what kind of hurts this fund in general. But either way, it's all good. It's early in the month. IWMY is now down 27 cents for the month. But they can make that just as fast as they lost it. So we'll see what happens. Since inception, they're up $2.05 or 10.15% total return. Again, this is not with dividend reinvestment. If I did dividend reinvestment calculation, this total return would be much higher. However, I just, I kept it simple. This is if you got the distributions and you just put them aside. So overall, again, they're making money from inception. We want more though, right? They yield a lot. So that's why we're expecting them to win more than they have been. But this is not easy. This strategy, we need things to go our way. All right, TRES, probably the worst of the five funds. On ex-dividend date, their price was $17.48. They lost 12 cents on ex-dividend date. Then they lost 2 cents. Then they lost a penny. And then they gained 7 cents, but then they lost 14 cents. So they're down 22 cents for the month of, we'll say April. So not good. Their total return, they're down $2.22 per share. Again, that's with dividends. So overall, they're down 11.09%, which is not good. This fund, again, I don't know. I don't follow it enough. It could be a reason. But either way, I'm staying away. I have never bought this fund, and I don't plan to, because I haven't seen anything that would want me to. Like, the yield is not even, it's not an eye opener. Nor can they have a high yield, because they have not been performing well. But I do own TLTW, and I know that one is down as well. I know that's the comparable, so I'm sure it's not Defiance fault. All right, what about SPYT? SPYT is the newest one. So they paid their dividend of 34 cents on that same day. SPYT was then $20.03. It went down 2 cents that day. And since then, it went down 11 cents and then down 20 cents, but then it gained 18 cents. For the month, we're going 5 for 5 for losing money. They are down 15 cents. So again, not the best start. Overall, total return, they're up 19 cents from inception, and they pretty much just launched. So total return, they're up 0.95%. So again, not a good start for any of these for the month. But not everything is sunshine and rainbow sometimes. So here is here's the summary page, which again, I show how each month goes, how it works. Again, when QQQY and JEPY launched, right, they lost money right away, and then they paid a lot of money. So, obviously that's not what they intended. And then even the next month, the same thing. But when we got to December, things looked good, right? Maybe Santa Claus rally helped us. But we made more money than what we paid, right? And then the same thing in January. But then as of February, it kind of stopped. February, March, and April have not been that great, to be honest. We've made some money, but not enough to pay what we're paying, which again, it's okay as long as we can make it up another month. But like SPYT had a really good April. They made 34 cents. They paid 34 cents, which happens to be their 20% annualized yield. So that honestly worked out perfectly. I do really like SPYT. I don't own enough of it. I'm gonna buy more for sure. But SPYT is definitely on my radar. There's so many good options now. I'm just, it's easy to get lost in the mix of this. But overall, if we look at, the capital gain / loss since the latest payment, they're all down except SPYT, because obviously they're paying more than what they make. But then down, below that, for example, QQQY, they're down share price 427 as of the last payment date, but they paid 609. So obviously that, they're up 182 overall. Same with JEPY. The share price is down 293, but they paid out 469 per share. So in reality, you're up $1.76. Yes, some people will say, well, I'm getting taxed on my own money, right? So, but keep in mind, they're paying this out when this happens. They're going to pay it out as return of capital. You can check the 19A notices, which will be on their website, and you could see what distributions are return of capital, and and what aren't. So, if it's return of capital, more than likely, it will not be taxable. Obviously, this is not tax advice, so you could check, do your own research on that. But that. Don't be too worried, when people say you're paying me my own money. Well, it's a, return of capital, so you're not going to get taxed anyway. So it's irrelevant until your cost base, because when you get paid as return of capital, it does lower your cost basis. So if your cost basis on these does eventually go to zero, then I believe it will be taxed as capital gains tax, which at least I believe is less, much less than the regular income tax. But again, not tax advice. I haven't been through this scenario, so I am curious to see when your cost basis does actually go down to zero. And when I say cost basis, I'm talking about like taxable cost basis. So for example, if you're paid $1.82 from all return of capital, your taxable cost basis on what you own QQQY at will drop by $1.82. And if it keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, and eventually your cost basis goes to zero, anything you get paid after that, you'll be taxed on. So the real question is, will you be taxed at regular income rate, or will you be taxed at capital gains tax, which obviously, it's almost half of what the income tax could be. So either way, IWMY to, continue. They're down 339 overall, but they paid out 571, so you'd be up 232. TRES, they're down 243, but they only paid 43 cents, so you'd actually be down $2 from inception, and then SPYT, you'd be up 34 cents. So, again, here's the launch prices. I was looking for this earlier, actually. QQQY actually launched 14 cents higher than JEPY, and JEPY's holding up much better. IWMY launched at 2019, and they're holding up okay, but they're newer. So TRES is just doing bad. I'm trying not to be mean to TRES, but they are not doing well. SPYT is really outstanding. But yeah, that's the summary for the holdings. I have a Monday recap tab, which I won't get into too much detail, but at least if we could look at the net asset value, QQQY is their largest fund, IWMY is number 2, JEPY number 3, SPYT, it's already past TRES, SPYT number 4, and then TRES is last, but rightfully so, they should be. So yeah, that's the summary. That's how every fund is doing. For the Defiance funds, again, if you guys are wondering, yes, I still invest in these funds. I still believe in these funds, but the way I work these funds is I'm always going to invest more money every single month. As long as on ex-dividend date or thereafter, the price of the fund is below my cost basis, and then I'll continue to lower my cost basis in time. I'm not going to throw all my money into it. I'm going to throw a little portion of it into it, and then I'll continue to lower my cost basis and let them pay me more and more and more every single month, and then I'll continue this essentially forever, right? This is just one of those funds where you have to reinvest. There may come a point where my cost basis is actually below, the price at the time. But, when that happens, I'll skip a month or I'll skip 2 months, whatever's needed. But I am expecting, when owning these funds, there is a portion that I have to reinvest into these funds. So understanding that, I have no problem buying into these funds. That's the difference between this and YieldMax. YieldMax, there's much higher possibility that you could be up on the fund. Obviously, you're seeing that on Coney, on Misty, on Nvidia. You're seeing that on all of those because they work a little different. They capture much more upside appreciation. These are kind of like more set on, that dead on high income, boom, boom, boom. But I love the idea of this. I love the fact that they're doing daily puts, because I can't do that. I can't do it on the index. I can't do daily puts in general. I just don't have the time. So I'll let them do it. I'll let them run with it and do their best. And hopefully some months are better than others. Right now, we're in a little bit of a hole. So things should turn around. But either way, that's the update on the funds. That's the update on what I'm doing with them. But hopefully that helped you guys. Again, I'll continue to do these weekly as long as you want them. So obviously I look out for the comments. If you guys, do appreciate it, you usually let me know via comment, and it is, again, greatly appreciated. But if there comes a point where this is no longer needed, you just, let me know. I can cover something else as a weekly recap. But either way, guys, as mentioned, this is not tax advice, nor is this financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor or a tax consultant. These videos are just for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you were entertained. And again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. It does help. So that is greatly appreciated. If you want to help the channel even more, you could always just share this video in a Defiance group or something, a high yield group. As I approach my 10K subscribers, which, that's going to be a huge milestone. So it's good to celebrate the small, small milestones. I'm still such a small-time YouTuber, but to me, it's something I never thought it would happen, to be honest. But I'm, very grateful that it will at some point. So either way, again, thanks for watching. Questions, concerns, leave them in the comments below, or feel free to join the Discord and we'll talk there. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Later.